Core Java Part 3. So the various topics that we are going to cover today are, the first is how to take the input from the keyboard, that is taking input from the console during runtime using class scanner. Next we will discuss some important features and object oriented approach used in core Java. Then we will discuss about classes and objects concept and how to use the programming. Then we will discuss about functions and their calling. Then in the last we will discuss about some variables like local variables, then how to create the class variables and instance variables. So let's move to our first slide, that is how to take the input from the keyboard, that is from console using particular class named as scanner class. So scanner is the class which accepts the value from the keyboard. Like if a person presses keys from the keyboard like 1, 2, 3 or any other alphabet or name, it will be taken and can be printed also. So for that particular requirement, we need to use the scanner class. Like we need to mention scanner, then we need to create one object like S or anything, any character. The line for creation of the object is class name, then object is equal to new, that is predefined element or keyword, then again class in the bracket, that is function. We need to write system.in. So it will be like imported from the util package. For package util to be imported, we need to write one line at the top of the program, that is import java.util.asterisk. Asterisk means that we will just import all the functions that are present in the util folder, which is again present in the present in Java folder. So in the next slide I have taken certain like functions which are used according to the requirement and which are present in the scanner class, like next int, which is used for taking the integer value. Then again next float for floating values like decimal values. Then next double. Double is again decimal form, but it can scan the long type. Like next we are having next long, it is used for simple integer values which is long. Then for short values we can use short also. For boolean values next boolean function, and for taking the simple text line we are having one specific function under the scanner class, that is next line. So let's see how to use these functions. So in the next slide I have taken one program along with the output. Like in the main function I have taken three variables, name as string, then age as integer value, then salary as floating type value. As we have discussed, we need to create one object of scanner class. Then I have taken one simple line, enter your name with the printing statement, that is system.out.println. In the double quotes we need to give the statement whatever we want to represent. Then for taking the line we are using next line function, and this is the syntax how to use it. Like variable name, that is name, is equal to s is the object of scanner class. In the first line we can see, then dot next line. Next line is the predefined function. It will just take the string type value. Then for the age, which is integer type, we are using next int, and for the floating type we are using next float. So the syntax is same but the functions are different for the different type of value. So we can see the output also. It will just display enter your name. We can enter the name, then age, then salary, and salary that must be in decimal type value. So in the last it will just print the output. According to our requirement we can specify it. So let's move to next slide, that is object oriented approach. As we know that Java is a object-oriented programming language. It means that we always handle each and everything over here in the form of classes and object. So first we need to create class. According to the requirement, we can mention the data members and functions inside the class. Then we can create the object of the same class and use those like members and functions. Then here is a concept of inheritance. Inheritance means that we can have multiple classes and extend the properties of each other according to the requirement. Basically, we used to handle the base class and derived class, and according to the requirement we can create many classes. Then we are having the concept of polymorphism in Java. Polymorphism that is that we can create one function which can perform multiple functions. Then is the concept of abstraction. Abstraction means that in the collection of the 100 lines, we just want to use the 10 to 20 line of instructions according to the requirement. It means that we are abstracting something important which is required by us. Then last is the important concept, that is encapsulation. Encapsulation means that we are having one package and inside that package we are having further subparts like classes, interfaces or anything else. And according to the requirement we will just take the one or more package and use that. Everything will be packed in a package over here in the concept of encapsulation. So these are the object-oriented features of Java program. So next we are having classes and object. So as we know that class will have the number of instructions, and further we can have multiple classes also. Like in the example we can see we are having two classes, 1 and 2. In both classes we are having one function with one printing statement. So in order to print the function and the statement line of class 1, we need to create its object. As we can see in the main function, I have taken 1, that is the class name, then obj1. obj1 is the object of class 1. Then this is the syntax for creation of object, and for calling the function we just need to write object name, then dot operator, then function name. Then similarly we can call the function 2 of class 2 also, and we can see the output also, how it will give us the output. So next, how to use the functions and methods. So functions, what is the requirement of functions? Functions means that a certain block of statement which will perform certain task. Like different functions can perform the different task, and the function name must be very meaningful also. Like in the earlier example, we are having two functions, function 1 and function 2. It means that function 1 will like perform other function and function 2 will do some different thing. So according to the requirement we can provide the access specifiers also, like public, private, protected, default, final and static. As we have discussed all these specifiers in the previous videos. So how to call the function, that is with the object name of the same class with dot operator, then function name. We can see the output over here and understand the concept. So next we are having local variables. So local variables are really very meaningful and the required thing in the Java programming. Like in the example we can see we are having three variables which are local, A, B and C. We have assigned values to A and B variable, but C is empty. It will have the like addition of A and B. Then we just want to print the value after addition, that is 30. 10 plus 20. The 30 value must be printed in C variable. So how to use this function sum? So in order to use the sum function, first of all we just need to create the object of this class as we know. like class name, then object is equal to new one function. Then with the help of the object one, the sum function will be called, and whatever instructions are provided in the sum function, the whole function and all the instructions will be executed and the value will be printed. So the next is variable instance variable. So now if we want to have the instance variable, it can be accessed within the class scope. It means that object of the class. So that object which is of particular class can be used in the main function but cannot be accessed outside of that particular class. So those are called as an instance variable. As in the example, we can see we are having obj1 of class 1. So it can use the data member and functions of class 1 only. So obj can access the sum function and the instance variable a, b and c. Now these are defined outside the function. So these are called as instance variables. So let's move to next slide, that is class variable. So in the previous slide we were using instance variable, but now we are using class variable. So these class variables are defined within a class and can be accessed within a class by any of the method or constructors, or outside the class also we can use them. So about the constructors we will study in the further coming videos. So let's see the example. We are having one variable int a is equal to 10. We have assigned one value to a, then b. These are static variables I have mentioned over here. Then with the help of the object we can assign the value to the b. This will happen and work only if the variable is mentioned as static. Then only we can assign the value with the help of object, like obj1.b is equal to 20. So this is the representation. In the result variable we are just adding the two values. So this will print the output. So let's move to next slide. We are having some MCQ questions. So the first question is, which type of variable can be accessed within the class by any member function or outside the class scope? So just understand the question and what is the correct answer. So the correct answer is option number 2, static. As we have already discussed, static is a member function, or we can say that it is a predefined variable which is used by the object directly, and it can be used within the class or any other member function also. So let's move to next question. Next question is, which is not a function of scanner class? So as we have studied some predefined functions which are provided in the scanner class, which is further provided in the package of util, that is utility package. So what is the correct answer for this question? So answer is option number 1, that is next integer. Basically it is next int, not integer. So this is the correct answer. This is not the function of scanner class. So this was all about the third part of Core Java. Thank you.